Hi students, welcome to this video. Students, in this video, I will explain about the sources and types of sources. It is a 2 marks question that what is the definition of a source, what are the different types of sources and how many types. Okay students, now if you see the board here, actually we have 2 types of sources. Okay, how many are there? 2 are there. What those are? Nothing but voltage source and current source. Okay students, voltage source and current source. Okay, and when we are discussing about the sources, we have types of sources. Those are nothing but independent sources and as well as the dependent sources. Okay, so how to identify the independent and as well as the dependent. Okay, so voltage source and current source with respect to the circle. If the circle is there, then we can say it is an independent sources. Independent sources. It may be a voltage source or it may be a current source. Okay. Minus plus. The difference between two charges or two potentials nothing but we are calling as a voltage source. The flow of current is nothing but here the current source. Okay. So voltage source and current source. What those are? Those are nothing but independent sources of voltage and as well as the current. Okay. So again, independent sources are divided into 2 types. Those are rising voltage is plus Vs and falling voltage in terms of minus Vs. Okay now, minus plus is nothing but your rising voltage or minus and plus. Minus and plus is nothing but what are falling voltage. The same way, when we are discussing about the current source, rising current and as well as the falling current. Rising current and as well as the falling current in terms of plus I of S and minus I of S. Minus I of S. Okay students? So these are the independent sources. Maximum in electrical terminology we use independent sources. Independent sources in power systems and as well as the electrical machines. Now one more type of source is nothing but dependent sources. Dependent sources. These sources are depending upon other source. Those are nothing but dependent source. To understand the independent source and as well as the dependent source, I will give you one example so that you can understand very easily. Okay students. Now your parents are there. Your parents are independent or dependent? Yes. Your parents are independent. Why? Because your father earning its own income, isn't it? But what about you? You are depending upon your parents. So you are nothing but what? Dependent. The same way, how to identify the dependent source means with respect of the diamond shape. Okay students? Diamond shape indicates the dependent sources in terms of voltage source and as well as the current source. Right? So this is a symbolically we can say voltage source and as well as the current source. Normally these dependent sources are used in electronic devices, where in electronic circuits we use these dependent sources. Okay? Again, these sources are divided into ideal sources and practical sources. Ideal sources and practical. Students, have you heard this word ideal source or ideal term? Yes. Now our system is ideal or practical. What is the difference between this ideal and practical also? Very important here. Normally, we are depending upon the practical source. We are depending upon the practical. But to understand the difference of this ideal and as well as the practical, let's see how it is. Now, ideal is nothing but there is nothing is happening. Nothing is happening. It is there, there. Any working is there? No working. No working. To understand this one, ideal source. I am taking a voltage source as an ideal source. Now, this is my input and across this one it is an output. Across the output. Suppose if I take a voltage input as a 100 volts. 100 volts. Which condition? Ideal condition. Then what about across the load condition? It also will be same 100 volts. Your efficiency is how much here? 100%. 100%. But it happens. In nature it happens. It never happens. It never happens. Only on the paper we are saying the source are ideal source and as well as the practical source. Now, very important one that we are depending upon the source are those are practical source. Which source? Practical. Practical means what here? Something change in the system. Something change in the system. That is here voltage source is there. Here we have some path, some internal resistance is there. Internal resistance and across the load. Across the load. So source to the current with respect to some voltage drop, then it across the load current. Load. So here what happens in practical, if I say here 100 volts is your input voltage, what about your output voltage here? Less than, equal or greater than? Yes. In ideal what happens? Both are same. But coming to the practical, what happens here? You have some internal resistance is there, some drops are there, your 100 volts is your input, you will get here less than 100 volts. Less than 100. Why? Because it is a practical condition and there is a path, there is a drop. When drops are there, your voltage will be also changes. It will be changes. So this is the ideal and as well as the practical source. To understand this ideal and practical in a graph or characteristics, how to draw the characteristics? Let's see. This is your voltage and this is your current. Voltage and as well as the current. Okay now? This is the initial point 0. Now I draw a straight line. What is the meaning of straight line? This is the constant one. Nothing but ideal condition. For students, which condition? Ideal condition. How? Same. Starting to ending, its the points are same. But coming to the practical, what happens practical? Some change in the system. So what is the change of this one? Is nothing but your voltage drops. Okay, so 90% will be depending upon the practical, irrespective of your ideal. So this is the main concept of a source and types of sources. Symbolically, how to identify the independent and dependent sources, ideal and as well as practical with your VI characteristics. So maximum we depending upon the practical source. There is a path should be there. There is a voltage drop will be there. The input is less than your output. That is a practical condition. Okay students, please listen my videos and subscribe and share to your friends and encourage me to do some more videos. And please comment about this video. Okay students, thank you.